Hi, good morning, everybody. Thanks, Damien, and thanks, Jill. I hope you can all see my screen with the little North Plains desktop here. All right, so I'm going to start off with a quick slideshow here. Mainly, here are the few topics I will cover in this intro demo about the new features in Xinet 17.7, which we've just released a few weeks ago. Mainly, I'm going to talk about searching. There is something that we've done that's worth talking about and that's worth explaining. I'm also going to explain what we've done to finalize our facet story. We have replaced our raw camera library. We've updated our client applications, our InDesign plugins, and so on. And we've also added a new OS supported platform. But first of all, let me start off with reviewing what we've done in the past 18 months, just really quickly, because I think some of the changes that we've done were mostly in the back end and were not very visible to the front end and to end users. But I think it's still worth mentioning what we've done. So of course we've updated our client plugins. We've made sure that we work with the latest and current versions of OS 10 clients. We've made sure that our interfaces work with the most current versions of Firefox and Safari and Chrome. But we've also done some significant changes in the back. One of them being we've introduced a new application or a new tool called Xinet Pilot, which gave us the opportunity to have an application on the desktop. And when we introduced it, I think it was with 17.5 or 17.5.1. It was our first version, and since then we've spent a lot of time and effort to make it more stable and more reliable, and added and improved the user interface, as well as added some features that make it more usable in the remote and also in the local workflow case. We have also added, in the past 18 months, we've also added Unicode UTF-8 support to our database, so everything is entirely in UTF-8 now. That's important if you're working with international clients and you want to have metadata values in different character encodings. We have also, with 17.6, we've implemented the Solr search engine, and it's just something that we needed to do because we hit our limits with our searching that we had used in the product prior to the Solr implementation. Okay, so 17.7 we've just released 2 or 3 weeks ago. Quickly, these are the topics again of what we've done. We have a quick search and advanced search, and I'm going to talk about and explain what this means in a minute. We have finalized our facets or filters to trim down a quick search result. We've updated our raw camera library, we've updated our Adobe plugins, and we've added a new platform that we run on. So first of all, searching. 3 types of searches that we have. There's quick search, saved search, and advanced search. And let me just quickly explain what this means. So as you know, we've introduced Solr in 17.6, and it was our idea to provide a Google-like quick search interface along with filters or facets to further trim down our search results. And we thought that would be enough to replace the prior to Solr advanced search engine. And we've learned that was not enough because most of you are using customized search interfaces using the legacy search engine. So now with this release with 17.7, we're trying to provide you with a release that that could still make use of the old prior to Solr search engine and still take advantage of the new solar features that we've implemented. Let me just quickly explain what I mean with that. Okay, so I'm going to log in to a 17.7 server here that's running as a VM on my laptop. Here's the main out-of-the-box exhibit interface. At the top right here is our quick search field that has a new button here. So if you search on something, you can tell the system whether you want to search on everything, meaning on file names, metadata, and text, or if you want to limit the search on only file names. Okay, so if I check off that checkbox, we'll get different results, of course, because now I'm searching on all text content and text metadata fields that are available to me. One thing we've also done for quick search is, so for example, if you do a white space and search for build and blue, what this does is it searches for everything that contains build and contains blue. So this is equivalent to a search like this. If you want, and if you're familiar with SQL tokens, you could also change your search and add other SQL tokens like those. And we know this is not what most end users are going to use, but at least you can set up those searches, run those searches, and save those searches, and give them a more descriptive name, and have access to those advanced quick search features. There was also more Solar-specific stuff, and I can't give you all the details here now. We've documented in our manual, but you can do stuff like this, for example, to give the token blue, in this case, a higher value. So blue becomes more important in that search than build, and those are Solar-specific features. Okay, this is all documented in our manual. We have, might also be worth mentioning, we've hired a new person who's responsible for updating and maintaining the Xinet documentation. So you should have a more up-to-date manuals, and we've added all those things to the manual. Okay, so here's the idea. You do your quick search, and you might have noticed that on the left-hand side here, we've flipped over from the navigation panel right to the new filters or facets section. And depending on what fields within your user's template you have enabled for facets, you get the option to further trim down your search results by just clicking a button. For example, I'm only interested in assets with a job name stock image shots. And here you go. You just apply the filter. You get a list of all applied filters here on top. Let's say I can. There's only JPEGs now. You could add more filters here on top, or clear filters as you go. Okay, that's for quick search, and I'm going to talk more about the facets and advanced search in a second here. Okay, so there's a new button here to limit your searches on file name only or on everything else. You can use SQL tokens, and we've also extended our safe search. And let me just show you what we've done here. Let me go back to top level. And if you're on top level and you switch to filters, you can almost alternatively browse through the entire system just by using metadata fields. Okay, I'm going to check on this checkbox, and now Solar is providing me with all the assets that have that job name and a metadata field attached. I am going to use my type facet, and I'll limit my view to Photoshop files only. And if I want to, I can save the search now. If I save the search, I could give it a more descriptive name, like images, PSDs, or originals, or something. And those saved searches, I can delete those searches, only the ones that I've created, and I can share the searches that I've saved within my primary user group. So all web native users that are in the same group as the user who creates the search have access to that search, but cannot delete the search. So all they can do is, click on that link and run the search. What's new in the latest implementation of saved searches is that we have added the path to those saved searches. So it almost becomes like a bookmark feature. Okay, so now I've added those filters. So I'm looking for Photoshop files with the job name stock images, but I could also go ahead and use a combination of path and filters. And let me just browse into stock image data. And now I set a filter. Let's do it like this. I would, save the search again. Choose the originals. Okay. And I clear my filters. And let's say I am working on a different client or on a different job here, and I'm browsed here, for example, and I do need access to that bookmark or to that saved search I've just saved or I've just done. It doesn't matter where I am, so what we will do is we will not apply this filters to any path I'm browsed at, but we will apply the filters only to the path they were saved at. So if I pull that up, right, I'll get access to the same results that I've just saved. I have not saved the results really, but I have saved a filter along with that path here. Okay, so one use case, for example, would be I can easily set up a to-do list for a user, for example. I've as a combination of the path and the filters. It's quite convenient. Saved searches. So we save the filters. We also save the path. And to me, this is really, that's the way I understand it. It could really be used as a bookmark feature to bookmark certain areas on your Xinet server that are interesting to you or to other users in your group. Advanced search. I've mentioned it in the beginning quickly. The reason why we've reintroduced it is to allow you a smoother transition to Solr features, right? So if you're using the Xinet server and you're using customizations, custom links that use the pre-Solr search engine to run a specific search for all, uploaded images within that last week or something, you could still do that. So we do not take that functionality away, but we add all the Solr features that I've just shown. So we add the quick search functionality. We also add the facets, and which should help you to upgrade to a more current version of Xinet. We also want to make sure you understand this is a temporary solution. And what we really want to do in the midterm is we want to provide you with an API to use the Solr search server with an advanced search. So we want to give you an advanced search option or an API to convert your customizations to that new API and solely in Solr without having to use the old search engine. Okay, I'll just quickly show you where you should probably all be familiar with the advanced search. So we've reintroduced our magnifying glasses here, and here's all the stuff. So for example, if that's been a pretty high on the request list to be able to set up a search on one specific metadata field. So you can do this again with 17.7. So if you're specifically looking for a job name that contains or you know, something like that, you can still do that. Okay. Let's see what else we've done. Facets. Again, I've mentioned it in the beginning. We have introduced facets in the previous release with 17.6, but as you know, we had limitations on what data field types could be turned into facets. So we had not have an option for date fields and for integer fields. We've fixed that now, and I want to quickly show you how that looks like. So again, for example, I can use a combination of path and filters. I'm going to use that path and flip over to my filters pane, and I'm going to use a built-in date field. And if I click on that date field, we provide you with a list of pre-configured ranges. So, you know, everything that's been modified in the last 7 days, you just click on that, and here's the assets I find. Okay. We also, of course, have the option to allow you to build custom ranges. You click on the custom ranges button, and here's our little calendar widget. So you can set up a date range. You know, maybe you're interested in seeing what has changed between October 15th and today, and you set that range, apply, and set up that or run that search. Okay. And any date field that you make available for facets automatically gets that option. So not only the built-in fields, but also your custom date fields automatically are going to look like this. The second thing in terms of facets that was missing was integer ranges. And for integer ranges, we have an option, and I'm going to show you how to set this up in native admin in a second. So we have bucket sizes, ranges, right? And you can either set up the ranges yourself, or you can let the system do it for you. There are other integer fields, like in this case, a rating field, or other fields where you know, okay, you can only have those 5 values or 10 values or something, where it might not make sense to have a range, and you can turn those integer fields into values, and this is how they are going to look like. Let's just quickly take a look at native admin. I'm going to show you how to set this up. So in database, data fields, I'm just going to do a search, for example, estimated costs is an integer field. And when you turn an integer field into a facet, so when you want that your field shows up in this list here, you check on the checkbox. You get access to that. You have an option to turn it into a range or a value. A range will look like this, and the bucket size is adjustable or configurable here. In this case, I've set it to auto mode, and the system will come up with some meaningful ranges. For this rating field, I have turned that into a value, which means I'll have single values for every value I have. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Just see what else we have. We're going to talk about pilot in a second. Here, just again, the date ranges, pre-configured date. There are custom ranges that you can set. Same for integer fields. We have bucket sizes or ranges, as well as single values. We have updated the raw camera library with a library called VC-Raw. I think it's a fairly well-known open source library, but it's one of those open source components that's widely used in professional software. And what's probably going to make some of you happy is you'll get a list of supported cameras. If you go to that URL, you just Google DZ Raw and you'll get to that page. It's fairly well maintained as far as I could see. So the camera lists are current camera models. Are quite happy to have that now. Client applications, of course, we've updated our InDesign plugins to the latest Adobe release. Adobe CC 2014 is supported now for all our plugins. And we've done some changes to Xinet Pilot, and I'm going to show you what we've done there. Here's Xinet Pilot. I'm going to log in as a user. Of course, in the standard pilot side, we also have access to the quick search field. We also have that same checkbox here for file names, and we also, once we run a quick search, we flip over from Navigator to the Filters tab here. We also have date ranges, we have integer ranges, and all the stuff that I've just showed you. And also advanced search, right? So you can also go to advanced search if you want to from Pilot. A few of the things that we've done in Pilot, and that's not specifically new to 17.7, but I don't know how familiar you all are with those features. So let me just quickly explain what we've done. For example, we've implemented a drag and drop download. So if you're remote, you can drag and drop download to your desktop, and for bigger files, we've implemented the progress bar, so you see what's going on. You see that something is actually happening. You can also do. Well, let me talk about this in a second. Depending on your download permission, and that's just the way that we've always had it in Web Native, but that was missing in Pilot before. We also now have Iris and FPO download links, right? That will download to your download location. So let me just quickly switch. Well, actually, there's one more thing it's worth mentioning for remote workflows. That's one thing if you're working with remote designers. Let's say you've browsed or you've found your InDesign document and you can click on that Open Iris link here. The system will find out you're not local, you don't have access to the files really. Would you still like to open the file? Yes, I will. And what Pilot is doing now, it'll create that folder on your desktop, and it'll download the InDesign document along with the FPOs for you, automatically, all in one go. Okay. So that's something we've worked on and made it just way more reliable than it was before. We've also changed the way drag and drop works from Pilot into InDesign. That should go much faster than before, and there's a reason behind that, and I can explain you. I think I can explain you what it is. Okay, right. So here's your InDesign document. You can do your changes if you want to. I don't know, drag and drop other files onto the page and upload the InDesign document. All right, you can do all that stuff. All right. So this should go much faster than before, and the reason is we've by default turned off a feature that we had implemented before. It's still implemented, it's just turned off. When you drag and drop the file, I don't know if you know that, but we've downloaded an Apple script, and the Apple script actually does the placement of the image in InDesign. And you could tell that Apple script to also pull pull in some metadata from the venture database. And that's been turned off by default, which makes that whole drag and drop process a lot faster. Okay. So then let's just go back to the local workflow case. Oops. Sorry for that. And in the local workflow case, well, you know that you can use Xinet Pilot as almost a window to the Xinet server. Reason we have here, well, of course, you can use the file system to browse through all your data, but you also have access to the metadata. Right, if you need to look up a job number or something, or look whatever has been rejected, and work on this. Once you've found all this, you can simply click on this button and open the asset in Photoshop or whatever application you want. This also works for InDesign, Illustrator, and others. Another nice thing that's been implemented in that latest release is we can do drag and drop now into PowerPoint as well as Apple Mail. To give you an example, just click on New Message, and let's say I don't know, one use case would be you need to send out a PDF, and we all know we can send out PDFs with links. There's image links or triggers and actions and so on. But you can also do just to drag and drop in the mail application, and send out the mail to to somebody, and get that done really easily. The same thing is true for PowerPoint. I don't even have PowerPoint here now. Just I can't find this now. You just have to believe me that we also do support drag and drop into PowerPoint. That's it for Xinet Pilot. And just last but not least, and I don't know how interesting that is for you, but it's something that's been, I wouldn't say outstanding, but that we've done because it was just a very obvious thing to do. We've updated our platforms to support the latest Apple 10.9 OS 10.9. We are running on a more current version of Windows now. We've added support for Red Hat 6.5, and we've introduced a new platform, which is CentOS. And that's really it. We've added a lot of more smaller features. We've fixed a lot of bugs, and the main thing, again, I want you to go away with is the reintroduction of advanced search. It's important for us that you are upgrading to the latest version of Xinet and take advantage of the Solr features while you still have access to the old, well, prior to Solr search engine, and use your customized searches. Okay, that's it from me.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Timo, for showing us how the new search works. Personally, definitely learned some things. We've got a lot of questions for you. You ready?
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right. Can you clarify if this search technology is available for the base web native versus web native through Portal?
Is that the, I don't know if that means Solr. I don't know if that refers to Solr or the old search engine. So
let's answer it for both, please.
Okay. So what we've done is when we introduced with 17.0, we introduced the now prior to Solr search engine, and that required Portal. For Solr, we also do require Portal to take advantage of the facets and the quick search. It's just interface interface, it requires the portal interface to completely support it.
Okay, so both searches, both advanced and Solar Search, require web native via portal. Regular search is available in both the base web native as well as web native through portal, correct?
Correct. So none of the stuff that I've shown today is available if you don't have portal.
Okay. We also, the next question is, when does IO Integration plan to release 17.7 to customers with customizations or to upgrade? And the short answer is, we've got a couple of applications that we need to do a new release on based on this new search capability. And we plan to start upgrading our customers this quarter. So coming shortly to an IT department near you. Next question was, and also I want to clarify that any customizations that any Xinet customer has from any vendor, including Impress and others, that would also be true. That this release, although it does have a ton of bug fixes and other advanced search capability, will indeed break a lot of the modules that have been released by third-party vendors to go with it. The next question is, will the IO transition plugin benefit from these new search enhancements? So correct me if I'm wrong here, Timo, but I think that Northplains has not released APIs for these search capabilities, so any customizations cannot take advantage of it. Would that be correct?
Hard to answer. It depends on what's being done. So the idea here with that release is, so if you're using, that's what I was trying to explain before. If you're using the old search engine, so anything that was used before we implemented Solar, that's all still exactly the same as it was before. So if, I don't know if your interface uses this search engine, if it does, it will still work. Plus, you can take advantage of the new Solar quick search and filters.
For that, we'll have more information on that as we come up with our new revision to IO transition. So again, that'll be available probably within the next month, and we'll have a lot more information for you at that point in time. Next question was regarding facets. Are you able to select more than one option in a field? And in other words, can I, if I want to select file types of both JPEG and TIFF or JPEG and TIFF and PDF?
Right. So the question is, I think, if you can check on more than one checkbox, for example, here. So I'm interested in Photoshop files and, oops, that's, I don't know what that was about, but if you're interested in, let's go here, just to make it easier, in JPEGs and Photoshop files, for example, that's currently not possible now. That would require a lot more changes in the backend. I think it's possible to, well, we have the base to do it, which is Solar. It needs to be implemented and it needs to be reviewed if that's something that we want to do or not.
Okay. And the next question is, currently Photoshop PSD files downloaded from web native as for placement only will not open in Photoshop or Preview.
Correct, because the FBOs are not Photoshop files. They are actually turned into EPSs or TIFFs on purpose, and that's totally done on purpose, even though they will still have the name, file name .psd. But that's part of the entire concept.
Okay, and then another question, so I know that you've got the Creative Cloud plugins working, will those be backwards compatible from 17.7? So if customers are just upgrading to 17, will those work, or do you have to be on 17.7?
That's a good question. So the thing that I don't think it's a question of the plugins. It's more if the older system knows about the new file types and creators. That's most of the time a problem, where the system just doesn't know what an InDesign CC 2014 file is, right? Because it gets a new type.
We got a comment here that one of the Xinet users had to abandon the FPO workflows because they destroy the Adobe workflow philosophy, which does also make sense. If you're unable to drag links from an email basket to an InDesign document in Creative Cloud, can you comment on that?
Say it again, sorry, Jill.
They've been finding that they're unable to drag links from an email basket to an InDesign document in Creative Cloud.
From an email basket to, I'm not sure if I understand what that means.
Yep, I think they mean in the Xinet interface, they're not able to drag the links that they have in an email basket to their InDesign doc. That's a, it's an InDesign CC.
Okay.
For drag and drop functionality. Why don't we have this one go offline?
Yeah.
Or if you want to clarify more.
Well, yeah, I think we should take that offline. I think I have the feeling it refers to an IO plugin, maybe. Could that be? I think that's what it is. But I'm happy to answer. I mean, please send me the email. Send me an email, or I'm happy to take a look at it and see what's going on.
Will do. Okay. Does Xinet Pilot require Portal to get the search features?
Yes. Xinet Pilot, really what Xinet Pilot is it's our own web browser, and I can quickly show you how it works. So you can see it connects through a URL with Portal. It's basically a special Portal site, and Xinet Pilot is our own northplains' own Xinet browser. So yes.
Great. Does anyone have any more questions? Okay. I think you did it all.
Yeah. If there's anything, anything I wasn't able to answer or I didn't understand or something, please don't hesitate to send me an email or give me a call or something. I'm trying my best to give you an answer.
Absolutely. So if anyone has questions for Timo, it's timo.faber@northplains.com. Or you can always just contact Damien or Jill at iointegration.com, and we will make sure you get in touch and get your answers. So thank you so much for your time today, Timo, and everyone for joining us. I hope you've learned a lot, and we will be sending this recording out shortly. I'll also be sharing it to the Xinet and other LinkedIn groups that are related to Xinet North Plains later today. Thanks so much.
Great.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks.